New artifact, who dis? Season 23's artifact just launched on Bungie's Twit article this week, and oh my god, it's so broken it might crash our games next season. You might be so overpowered that bosses might just fall over, champions might fall over, we don't know. Let's show you what the meta is going to be next season. So anti-barrier sidearms, I'm very excited for this because I love Brigand's Law. When I run this sidearm Brigand's Law with my arc builds, the volt shot, the reload of it, everything just dies, and I'm so excited to use this again. I know a lot of people hate sidearms, but I actually enjoy it. Brigand's Law is really good. Unstoppable hand cannon, hello sunshot. I mean, hello, any hand cannon, we're good to go. Unstoppable hand cannons are really good against those pesky unstops. Unstoppable bow is going to be really good, but you know, you can't use stuff like Wish Ender because it has intrinsic anti-barrier anyway. Overload auto rifles, back in the day when overload auto rifles or overload SMGs was kind of bugged and it didn't proc right away, Bungie fixed it. So as long as the auto rifle tags the overload instantly and stuns them, that's going to be really good. Overload pulse, not really my thing, but hey, it's there. Now let's get into the mods. We got Flame, Fiber, and Freeze. It combines your solar strand and your solar stasis siphon mods into one, kind of so you can run whatever you want. Inland trigger, this is where it starts getting really busted. Radiant causes solar weapons to apply scorch to unscorched combatants. So this right here is just going to be really good for any solar build that you're on any class, because you're going to be applying more scorch, and applying more scorch buildup is going to cause ignitions or ad clear. When I read blast radius, I didn't know what Bungie was thinking. Rapid final blows with rocket launchers and grenade launchers grant armor charges. Remember, they are introducing a new wave frame in season 23, and there's probably going to be other weapons that are going to make this absolutely busted. In another video, I'll be talking about how they changed how grenade kickstart, utility kickstart, and melee kickstart. They kind of changed how ability regeneration is. So having this where you can grant armor charges non-stop, you use your abilities in game next season, might benefit us really well. So blast radius is definitely going to be on the market there under my eyes. So the origin perk, think about it like this: when you're using Quicksilver Storm and you shoot those nanotech rockets, those grenades, they're going to do a little bit more damage. Bingo! From whence you came. Increases ability damage to taken and scoring combatants. This makes me think that the dungeon is definitely going to be taken now. It could be a Shattered Throne 2.0 dungeon. We don't know, but I mean, Yahtzee, taken and scoring combatants. There's been some leaks talking about how there's going to be some scorn enemies next season in some type of battlegrounds. Again, I don't take it with a grain of salt. I don't know if it's true, but taken enemies lights up for me on the dungeon, but it could be both. You never know. Column 3, Flint Striker. Rapid solar weapon precision hits and rapid solar weapon final blows grant radiant. So pretty much, if you don't have a powered melee, if your teammates aren't making you radiant, now your weapons can make you radiant, which is really good. I'm seeing a lot of stasis, strand, and solar in this artifact, but man, you trigger all these mods together and they're going to work really well. So Flint Striker, definitely going to be really good. Torch, while radiant, you deal increased weapon damage to combatants affected by strand and stasis debuff. So if they have like severed or they have a stasis nade on them, pretty much you're going to do more damage. We're going to have to test this and see how much it gives you, because Duskfields, having someone on Duskfield and being able to put that stasis debuff on for a while, or have a hunter throw their super, might benefit us in DPS. We just have to see, is it really worth having someone run strand for this, or is it not worth it, or is it just for fun? We'll have to test it. Heart of the Flame. This is just beyond my belief right here. Casting your solar super grants nearby allies radiant, but it also increases the damage of your super for each nearby ally. So solar titans with Pyrogale and hunters with Celestial Nighthawk, or they're running Star Eaters 3-shot, or they're running Blade Barrage. I mean, the opportunity for this is going to be insane. Very excited to see what this does. Also, golden gun spam, 3-shot golden gun. We killed Crota with it. There's going to be more. There's going to be more pain and suffering for bosses. Origin perk, Special 2, it improves the benefit of the noble deeds, unstated hunger, head rush, and dragon's vengeance origin traits, pretty much like origin 1. Wished into being, I really don't understand this mod, but we'll see. While your super is nearly fully charged, ability final blows spawn orbs of power, so pretty much it's just going to give you that extra orb so you can get your super. And also wearing Season of the Wish armor decreases super amount threshold. You could get yourself some Season of the Wish armor from vendors with engrams and get high statted armor and put this on to get your super quicker. That way you could spec into other stuff. You know, we really don't spec into intellect right now, but they're nerfing how orbs are generated next season, so we'll see. Unraveling orbs. Picking up an orb of power grants strand weapons unraveling rounds. If you go into your strand subclass, there's threat of propagation. A powerful melee kill grants you unraveling rounds. Well, now you just need to pick up an orb. So this could be really good in implementing this into your strand builds. That unraveling rounds does help. You know, it does ticks on them. It definitely, you can tell when you're shooting your weapons at enemies with unraveling rounds. It gives you that full effect and also stuns them and kind of helps you out with that clear. So I'm all for it. Pillar of Ice. Killing an encased combatant spawns stasis crystals. Pretty much how I read this is encased is they have to be like in the dusk field or frozen. And we don't really have a problem with our stasis builds to freeze enemies. So more stasis crystals mean more ways to proc fragments to make your build more even busted. So I'm all for it. Revitalizing Blast. We've seen this mod before. Causing damage with a solar ability weakens champions and bosses for a short duration. I don't remember what the percent is, but simply right before you go into a damage phase, you can weaken the boss with a solar ability such as a melee, a grenade. Since it's weakened, it makes me believe that it's 15% because weakened is, you know, like the hunter's weaken is 15%, but we'll see. But also champions are just going to get absolutely annihilated now. I mean, they're just going to fall over. Overload rocket launcher is probably in the game because of Dragon's Breath, how it does damage over time while it's on the ground. So they wanted to give us a cool mod to go with it. Plus, I mean, when you shoot an overload with a rocket now, it's just going to go bye-bye. Galahorn's going to work really good with that too. Dragon's Bite. This mod is absolutely insane. Gsxrclyde walks in the room and says, "Hello, bitches. I'm back. Do not sleep on this weapon." Breaking a combatant shield with a strand or stasis weapon has a chance to suspend or freeze that combatant. So you're just going to be freezing everything. And if you wear the Seasons of the Wish armor, it increases this chance. So pretty much, I'm going to see what abilities I get with wearing a full set, or maybe just 4 and an exotic, or just running my normal armor. But I do want to see how much of a change it gets with running the new armor set. You know, running this in GMs and, you know, seasonal activities and maybe even a dungeon. Being able to just freeze everything with Gsxrclyde is going to be insane. Also running the strand weapons as well. They nerfed strand of how we suspend targets now, and now they gave us a mod that gives us a little bit back. So interesting. Horde shuttle. Damaging unraveling targets with a weapon occasionally spawns a threadling. So again, just to make your strand builds better, you put on this mod, you put on unraveling orbs, make it busted. Hail the Storm. Shattering encases targets with a stasis crystal, and it deals increased damage. Shattering a stasis crystal releases shards of ice that damage and slow targets. Again, it's another mod to make our stasis builds even more busted. If you're like on a Titan or you're on a Hunter where you're like breaking your shields, you're breaking your crystals a lot to proc over shields and damage. Hail to the Storm's just going to improve that. Rays of Precision. While Radiant Solar Precision Final Blows cause combatants to ignite, this could be really good with like a Sunshot build, a Drang build, anything that's really solar. I mean, it's very hard to cause a ignition. You know, ignition right now, I think it's 1 grenade, 1 charge melee, like a grenade from a warlock and a powerful melee, and like a, you know, 1 or 2 bonks with a grenade is just, now it's just going to be easier to make those combatants ignite. So I'm all for it. Solo operative, that's going to give you a 15% flat buff. They could change it. It might not be 15% anymore, but when it was in the game before, you are solo in a dungeon, you get 15% more damage overall on everything. If they change it, it's all good. You guys better start bounty prepping, because not having solo operative in the first week of that dungeon coming out, if you really want to go for it, it's going to help you. So grab those bounties and hit up that XP, or go visit Golgoroth. And finally, Argent Ordnance. This was a Charge with Light mod that was in the game previously, but now it's an artifact mod. Firing a rocket launcher consumes 1 stack of armor charge. You can hold up to 5 max with running certain mods. Grants increased damage and reload speed until you reload or stow your rocket launcher. This could be really good for Radiant Dance Machine builds. If it works with Radiant Dance Machine, Hunter be able to dodge. Does it trigger this mod still, or does it count it as a reload and disable it? I think bipod rockets with Argent Ordnance on now are going to be on the map because they can fire so many rockets at once. So I would craft a Last Wish bipod or go get a bipod rocket from Ghosts of the Deep. This is absolutely insane. I have not seen a crazy artifact like this in a while. It seems like there's a lot of diversity. You run this mod, you run this mod, you run this mod for this build, and then you switch. Let me know what you guys think of this artifact that Bungie just dropped on us. What is your favorite thing about this artifact, and what is the thing you most dislike about this artifact? I'll be reading these comments, so make them spicy.